Hi everyone, and we're just getting ready now for the start of the new school year. And with that in mind, we have this session with being present with your heart. And it's all about connection and reconnection and connection with the new people that we are going to get to know. So to start with, and even though if it's going to be for the new year, I want you to bring to your attention and to your awareness maybe a challenging child that you have had in the past. And I want you just to bring that challenging child into your awareness just for a few seconds. Just think about it, think why you label it challenging, and feel how that thought, when you think that that child is challenging, see how that label that you've given makes you feel. See how it feels in your body. Does it cause any tension? See the trigger that it causes in you. Are you ready? So now that you feel that tension, just have that awareness, and that's it. Now you can let it go for now. And I would like to share how with mindfulness you can actually help uh, help yourself to better deal with this kind of discomfort that comes from challenging children or other challenging situations. And they can be challenging situations in the classroom or at home or with your children, but especially now that we are going to go into a new normal stage, and we will probably have challenging situations. So we all want children to thrive, we all want children to achieve, we all want children to learn and to reach their highest potential. But yet, this is a process. And this is a process that is not only involving the child, obviously, but also the environment of that child. And such environment will include parents and teachers. And though it's just very little that we can do about the influence that they have in the environment at home, obviously, with their parents being at this stage. It's easier when they're in primary school, but not so easy when they're in secondary school. But we as educators are, in fact, those who spend most time around them. So, why is mindfulness relevant? Why is mindfulness relevant, and how is it linked to this need for that proper environment? Well, we all have human needs, and I think you probably know, or most of you might know, this pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And these are the needs of a child, which we always are very aware. The child needs their safety needs covered, which sometimes we don't have control over. We have the control over what safety, when safety comes into place at school, and what we can learn from the children, but not from home. And we do have, all other things we can actually do, like the needs that we can give from school that are needed are those safety needs and the food that they eat. But we also have something else that we can give. So I invite you to reflect on the role that we play as educators, and where do you think that you would be contributing in this pyramid specifically? Where would you think? Because children, need to feel acknowledged, they need to feel that they belong, and they also need to be feeling that they are loved and understood. Yeah, so where in this pyramid? I just want you to reflect. Because for them to achieve their potential, which in this pyramid you can see that is at the very top, they actually have some other needs covered first. But in order to be able to reach that higher needs, it is important that we help them to connect with those other needs. But when I think of connection, I also think that how can I connect with others when I cannot connect with myself first? So it is important to understand that to connect with our own needs as educators and as adults around children, our needs need to be fulfilled first. So this pyramid always, attracts the attention towards children. But if you think of this pyramid and your own experience in life and how you are fulfilling those needs, after all, you have to think that we cannot give from an empty cup, right? So we need to cover those needs first. So I want you just to reflect a little bit of where are your needs in relationship to this table. Are you sleeping enough? Are you sleeping well? Are you hydrating yourself? Are you relaxing enough? Those things are very important. And then, do you belong? Do you feel you belong? You have your love needs covered and your self-esteem covered? Because if we want children to have these needs covered, they also need to have adults and leaders who are actually covering their own needs. I love this quote, and it's one of my favorite ones, but I also saw it in one of the assemblies last year or the year before. And we have seen this quote before. So just read for a little bit. Watch your thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become habits, habits become character, and character becomes your destiny. And I want you to notice that this is what we tell children, because this is what we would like children to reflect on, and we want children to think better, isn't it? We want them to understand that where they will be tomorrow will depend on the habits that they create by the actions that they take every day, and that such steps will depend on what they think first. However, if we are to help to create a community where the children can watch and observe their thoughts, then we we normally would have to start by learning how to do that before ourselves as adults, isn't it? Because we preach of doing it, but are we actually doing it ourselves? Because also the actions that we take will depend on the thoughts that we as adults are having. Have you reflected on that before? Now, Haim Ginott knew this very well. He was a school teacher, a child psychologist, a psychotherapist, and he also was a parent educator. And on his own words, he said that he came to the frightening conclusion that he was the decisive element in the interaction with the child. It was his personal approach that created the climate. And all this is said, it is shown in this quote. You can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. You can humiliate, or you can heal. And in all situations, it is your responsibility as the adult in that classroom that decides whether a crisis or a challenging behavior will be escalated or de-escalated. And the way you do that will be the difference in between humanizing a child or dehumanizing him. In other words, it is not what happens in the school, it is not what happens in terms of children's behavior in the classroom, it is not that, but it is how we respond to each event and interaction. And again, what does this have to do with mindfulness? Well, it is through being able to stop and reflect and to choose to make that little space, remember, that we saw in the other sessions, making that little space to take mindful actions rather than to give in to habitual reaction, which is what happens when we just get triggered. We get a trigger and we get a reaction, and we don't really notice until we already send the child out. But that is something you can learn. You can learn through mindfulness. You can learn to stop, and you can learn to reflect. And the beauty of it is that the more you practice to do that, the more the children around you will start shifting their behavior, because they will start noticing. Believe it or not, they will start noticing. So you can change actually that behavior around you by reacting or reflecting. So which one you're going to choose, isn't it? This is why it's so relevant mostly when we are entering this new academic year, because we can start from a blank slate with no judgments, with no labels, you know? If we can just start not judgmentally from a blank slate. So apart from the physical well-being, which I already told you about sleeping well and nutrition and shelter, I mean, once that we have covered all those needs, which hopefully you will be in good habits and have those needs covered, because one of those things that we need is really to take care of our physical body. Apart from that, Richard Davidson, who is a professor of psychology and founder of the Center for Healthy Minds, he came up with these 4 pillars that you can see in this slide. He explains how we must cultivate well-being in our daily lives in order not only to build up resilience, because that's something that obviously not only children need to cultivate resilience, but we need to be resilient in order to ask for children to be resilient, but also to have a more fulfilling life. How? With a sense of purpose, with better relationships, and not only with others, but with ourselves. Relationships, when we talk about relationships, is not only how we are, having that relationship with somebody else or with the children in our lives, but also with ourselves, because relationships are a reflection of how we are treating ourselves as well. That internal narrative that is running our lives, basically, like we said in those quotes before. So when I ask a child, like, have you ever, or to an adult as well, have you ever said to yourself, oh, that was so dumb of me, or oh, that was so stupid? And you think that you would never talk to your best friend like that. You would never talk to a friend like that. But yet we still do it to ourselves. So we have to learn to be more kind with ourselves. And this can be done through the appreciation of the now. So how do we do that? Through mindfulness and contemplative practices, just like the ones that you have been learning so far. And this professor says that a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. Why? Because a wandering mind, and I'm not talking about a wandering mind where there is creativity and you're looking for creative ways of, finding solutions, because you still have a purpose for those creative moments. I'm talking about wandering minds, like endlessly wandering, which is actually reflected now in the flicking through, social media and the phone. So it's the wandering mind, that kind of wandering mind that he's talking about. Is unhappy because we are sometimes suffering from loneliness, and we want just to keep busy, and our mind never rests and stops from just to be. And we're not paying attention. We are actually not paying attention to things. He said that about 47% of the time, 47% of your day, which is nearly half of it, we are actually not paying attention to what we are doing. And our mind is somewhere else, either trying to run away from the supposed problem that you have, or in many ways is running away. So what we can do is to obviously pay more attention to what we are doing, and by paying attention with that awareness and having it's going to give us a purpose. We have a purpose in life, and we can connect better with people. If we can connect better with people, we are actually not going to feel that loneliness that we have been feeling. And loneliness nowadays is actually the predictor of early mortality, also according to that professor. But we can actually train our mind to change these things. And how are we going to do that? I'm going to guide you through an exercise. It's an experiential exercise of heart connection, I like to call it. So I invite you to notice your body right now and see how you're feeling right now. Just now, how are you feeling? So maybe you can do a little quick body scan. Just see where your feet are. And now you can Feel your knees and just go quickly with the legs and wherever you're sitting. And now you can close your eyes and breathe in and out a couple of times. And wherever you feel tense, I want you to just breathe in that part and then breathe out. Let tension out. And it is a heart connection meditation. So I want you to now notice your heart. Notice the area around your heart. If there is any tension somewhere else, just breathe in and breathe out, leaving the tension out with the breath. And as you are paying attention to your heart, breathing in and out, I want you to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need right now? What is the need that you need to cover now? Maybe some appreciation or acknowledgement or some love or connection. What is the need that you need to fulfill now? And whatever comes to your mind is the right thing. Could be even not a thing but a color or an image. It doesn't matter. Just breathe in and breathe out. And just by breathing in and out and having this experience, you are, I want you to notice that you are actually setting this time for yourself, which is already giving yourself something to cover with. And now, I want you to bring a loved one into your mind. It could be even a pet, like somebody that really makes your heart sing. And I want you to pay attention to just notice, to bring that person or that puppy or that pet into your mind and your heart. And just imagine that that person or pet is very close to your heart. And then you can, in your mind, say to that person or pet, may you be happy. And that normally makes you smile, which is good, it's a good sign that you can smile. May you be healthy. May you be free of suffering. May you have all your needs covered. Now, when you are wishing that for somebody else, you are actually wishing it for yourself too. But you can acknowledge it too. So this time you breathe in and out with that person or pet close to your heart, and you say now to yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy. And that brings a smile to your face. May I be free of suffering. May I have all my needs fulfilled. And feel how that feels and make that even more expansive. If you feel that warmth in your heart and that connection to that person or pet, just make it even bigger. Like whatever you're feeling bigger, because it's always nice to feel a good feeling. And just from this point where you are with that big feeling and that big expansive sensation, do you remember the troubled child that you thought at the beginning of this session? Now, I want you to bring him or her into your consciousness. And I want you to again breathe in and out. If you feel tension, don't worry. Wherever you feel tension, just breathe in, breathe out, and remember you have your close pet or person close to you. And just seeing that troubled child, I want you to send the thoughts, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free of suffering, may you have all your needs fulfilled. Because if you think about it, the behavior of that child has some sort of root in an unfulfilled need. So not only are you just letting go of that because it's out of your control, or you're just connecting with love. We don't take anything personal. We are just of service. And you're inviting in that bubble of, good feelings that you have. And then let go. Just as being at that bus stop, if something else comes up, just observe it and let go. And then come back to that lovely feeling of your loved person or pet. If there is any tension in your body, breathe in. May I be happy. Breathe out. Again, breathe in. May I be healthy. Breathe out. And again, if there is tension, breathe in. May I have all my needs fulfilled. And exhale. And when you're ready, you can wiggle your toes and your hands. You can stretch. And open your eyes. And with these thoughts, I wish you a nice first week coming back, where you can connect more with your heart, and when you can also, use all the tools that you've been learning, so you can be more guided with your feelings and emotions, and that hopefully you have incorporated this practice somehow, whether it's eating mindfully or having those little 2 minutes of a timer for an undivided attention session with an activity, or any of the other tools that you've learned. I hope you have found them useful and that you can incorporate them in your day-to-day life as a teacher. If you need any more suggestions or any more links or any other guidance in regards to mindfulness, you can always drop an email and we can arrange for having some more links or maybe some sessions at school. For now, that is all from me, and I hope you have had a lovely summer, and I hope you enjoy coming back in peace. So I'm sending you peace. Bye.